We have news now to report involving our own network. News to us here at CNN and you at home. CNN's chairman and CEO, Chris Licht, is leaving the network. Licht took over the network a little over a year ago. David Zaslav, the chairman of CNN's parent company, Warner Brothers Discovery, he just made the announcement at the network editorial meeting. For now, a leadership team will take Licht's place, led by Amy Entelis, who's the executive vice president of talent and content development.
Who cares? That was CNN. That was the entirety of their coverage of the development there. Chris Licht. Got it. He's out. Boom. Shakalaka-laka. Well, happy Wednesday to you, and happy hump day to the Clinton family, wherever they may be. Is it right to call them a family, do you think? You know, it's wacky out there, isn't it? Hope you're having a happy time. You know, on the East Coast, we're all choking to death on this Canadian smoke. What is Joe Biden going to do about this? We need to close the border, I think. You know, they're telling people you shouldn't go outside. You shouldn't go outside because the air quality is so terrible, because Canada is burning. They burned like 6 million acres of forest or something. Come on. We were going to make plywood and stuff out of that and paper. What's the matter with you people burning that stuff? And they got a whole bunch of wildfires up there in Canada. On the East Coast, you see New York City looks like it's on fire. In fact, I shot a picture of the sunset last night and sent it to my brothers in Chicago and California. And I said, look at this. The sun is blocked out because Canada is burning the world. When are we gonna do something about Canada? We've got to stop them. We should close the border. And honestly, the visibility is about 1 mile in Washington, D.C. because of smoke from Canada. And in New York City, you can't even see the Statue of Liberty if you're, in one of the big buildings in Manhattan because all this Canadian smoke. Canada. What's the matter with these Canadians? These people crying out loud for the love of Mike. Smoke invades D.C. region once again. Air quality has been degraded because of wildfires in Quebec. Yeah, they're all over the country, too. They're not just in Quebec. They're all over. But it's the Washington Post. They get everything wrong. You know, that's the thing about them. You can always depend on them. Kind of amazing. But I love this. They're telling people, like, if you have kids, don't let your kids play outside because the air outside is not the same as the air inside, because the air can't get in to your home. There's different air inside than there is outside. And so stay inside because the air outside is bad, but the air inside is good. And if that makes sense, then we got a HEPA filter surrounding your door frames and your screens and your windows and stuff. So don't let the kids play outside because the air out there is bad. Stay inside and breathe the inside air. It's much better, right? As long as you don't have a gas stove or anything like that, because they're going to pull those out of your house because that's indoor air pollution, right? And I got to tell you, I got an update on a thing or two, because here's a story that I talked about at the time. It was Mother's Day in Washington, D.C. Mother's Day in Washington, D.C. And this is a story about what the Democrat Party is doing to the United States of America. I want to share it with you. It's in the digest. The story is in the digest in the Washington Post, in the Metro sectional at the bottom of page 3, a little blurb with no fanfare and no nothing. But on Mother's Day in Washington, D.C., a family was driving along, a mother and her 10-year-old little girl, and some Democrats opened fire with firearms that they owned illegally. And the 10-year-old girl in the back seat was shot, Ariana Davis, and it was a horrible Mother's Day story. And the little girl was killed. She actually died days later. She was taken to the hospital, and I think it was Wednesday, possibly Tuesday, that we learned that she had died, and it was a horrible and tragic story. Now, yesterday was the funeral. That was some time ago, but nevertheless, yesterday was the funeral for the 10-year-old girl, for Ariana Davis. And here's the update on the story. Police investigate fatal shooting at cemetery. That's right. They had the funeral for the 10-year-old girl yesterday, and somebody showed up and shot somebody and killed him at the funeral. Because Washington, D.C., your nation's capital, votes about 97% Democrat in every Democrat presidential election. A man was fatally shot and a woman was wounded Tuesday afternoon at a cemetery in Suitland, Prince George's County, police said. The shooting occurred about 1:20 p.m. at Washington National Cemetery, the 4100 block of Suitland Road, on the same afternoon that the 10-year-old Ariana Davis, who was fatally shot in Northeast Washington on Mother's Day, was being buried at the cemetery. See, why would that be a thing there? Her funeral was held Tuesday at Temple Praise Church in Southeast Washington, and it goes on. So the just an absolutely appalling story. No arrest has been made in the killing of Ariana, who was killed on Mother's Day back there because, snitches get stitches and stuff. Ariana was pronounced dead at a hospital 3 days after police say bullets from a barrage of indiscriminate gunfire struck her as she and her family rode in their car on the 3700 block of Hayes Street Northeast. And so there was a funeral for the 10-year-old girl. They still haven't found the murderer. And someone showed up at the funeral and shot and killed somebody else, killed a man and wounded a woman. So that's, and police are be on the lookout for Democrats. That's what they say. Usually they say someone in a blue jeans with brown shoes, something like that. Okay, I'll keep my eyes peeled for that. Now, really, I think that you should keep your eyes peeled for Democrats because that is a crazy and horrible story. Also, yesterday, because there are a lot of Democrats in Richmond, Virginia, this is another terrible, horrible story. Richmond, Virginia, high school graduation shooting, 2 dead, 5 injured. Oh, okay. That a high school graduation in Richmond, Virginia, 2 dead in mass shooting at high school graduation. Why would that be a problem? And that's not national news. I don't even know. Is it in the Washington Post today? I didn't even see it because it's Richmond. So the Washington Post. Police in Richmond, Virginia, said a mass shooting outside of the Altria Theater following the high school graduation ceremony left an 18-year-old graduate and another attendee dead and 5 others with gunshot wounds on Tuesday evening. Interim Richmond Police Chief Rick Edwards said at a news conference Tuesday that a 19-year-old man had been arrested for the shooting, and officers intend to pursue charges of second-degree murder against him. How do you get first-degree murder? You got to try real hard for that, I guess, huh? So he didn't identify the suspect, although he's old enough to identify, said he wasn't a graduate of the high school. That somehow doesn't come as a big surprise. And so we got that going for us. That's your Democrat. And one thing we know about them is that they were Democrats. So we got that going for us. Man, oh man, oh man. And I'll tell you, we were just at the top of the last hour, we were talking about the riot, melee, people injured, people arrested at a California school board meeting because parents, apparently largely Armenian, there's an Armenian community and of course a Latino community, and they showed up at the school board meeting because they don't want their children being indoctrinated in the ways of transgenderism when they're in kindergarten. And naturally, a gang of radical left-wing violent criminals calling themselves Antifa showed up, and they attacked the parents outside the school board meeting while they were peacefully protesting, and the Democrats showed up to violently attack them. They sent a gang of their black shirts. That's the Benito Mussolini version of Hitler's brown shirts. And but Antifa always wears black, right? Black hoods and black face masks and things like that. So the fights broke out at the school board meeting, and really it was attacks rather than just fights. It wasn't so much mutual. It was violent attacks by leftists on parents who are trying to protect their children. And if you dare to protect your children, then the left will send thugs to attack the parents, attack you, the parents. And that's, remember that, like, the police came and taking parents to the ground in, was that Loudoun County in Virginia and so on, trying to protect their kids from being sexually assaulted by a transgender student who repeatedly attacked women at 2 different schools in Virginia because he was told he could use the ladies' room and on it goes. So, and then Montgomery County, Maryland yesterday, another school board meeting, another protest, because a couple of parents groups, a Muslim parents group and a Christian parents group, coming together to oppose the left-wing lunatics in Montgomery County, inflicting the LGBTQ agenda and books and curriculum on their children. And the parents were chanting, "Protect our children," outside of the school board meeting. And again, Muslims and Christians coming together. And it was the Muslim Parents Organization largely driving this protest movement in Montgomery County. And God bless them. I'm with them, and a Christian group joining them. Only the left could make this happen. It's a wonderful thing. It's America, but it's the left, which is completely crazy, of course. And the parents were chanting, "Protect our children" in Montgomery County. And Muslims and Christians singing together from the same sheet music to protect the children from the sexual predators that are the child sexual predators that are the Democrats.
Protect our children! 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 Protect our
That's Montgomery County, Maryland. One of the most liberal counties in the United States of America, I think. It did remind us of the school teacher in Texas propagandizing the children, saying you can't call child molesters are pedophiles.
We're not going to call them that. We're going to call them MAPs. No. Minor attracted persons. No. So don't judge people just because they want to have sex with a 5-year-old.
Don't judge people just because they want to have sex with a 5-year-old. Let's go to the phones, Michael. Let's go to Teresa, calling from West Virginia. West by God, Virginia. Teresa, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hi, Chris. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
So I got to tell you, this is deja vu for me. So 20 years ago, I was the secretary of a group called Citizens for Responsible Curriculum. And we also sued the Montgomery County School Board. And we organized, Christians, the various denominations. And at the time, Montgomery County had put in their curriculum that homosexuality or phase, religions that taught that homosexuality was wrong, were wrong. That, was essentially questioning the religious faith, the Catholic faith and other faiths, and calling it out in the teacher material for the curriculum. And they were introducing at this point not transgenderism, but definitely homosexuality at a very young age to the kids in the public school material. And we actually got a judgment against Montgomery County because, we didn't get a judgment. We were getting ready to go to we went to court, and they basically had said, yes, this is wrong, and we can't do this because it was a clear violation of, separation of church and state. It's been 20 years. Anyway, but it's just unbelievable what goes on in Montgomery County. So we got the settlement was that they could no longer teach this in the school, and that they would have to remove that language from the teacher's material, and that we would have a seat on the review committee, for looking at the school curriculum going forward. That they hide what they are teaching in the schools from the kids. It's appalling. I mean, at the time, what I did, I had put my kids in public schools in Montgomery County for 1 year. They had been in Catholic schools, and I immediately took them out and sent them back to Holy Redeemer. This is crazy. But Montgomery County they're evil. They're after your children. They do not care what you think. I went on to run another referendum against Bill 2307, which is, I think this is going back now 15 years, the bathroom bill, where Dutchy Trachtenberg, who was sitting on the Montgomery County Council, decided that it was going to be okay for boys to go in girls' bathrooms. And we ran
and now they're doing that all over the country. Now, and I understand you eventually fled Maryland and moved to West Virginia, in part because of all of this madness, yes?
We did. Yes, we did. I'm an hour and a half up from Maryland in Falling Waters, West Virginia. It is, because my husband and I can both work remotely. I saved $50,000 a year in taxes.
And you love it, and you love it there,
and
and it's sanity. You found sanity.
everybody up here is nice and largely Republican, and it's fabulous. And I got a waterfront home, 6,000 square foot, for half the price that I sold my house in Montgomery County from.
That is just a beautiful story, and I think I might be moving next. I don't need 6,000 square feet, but I think I might be moving. I might be your neighbor soon. Teresa, thank you for the call. The Democrat Party has gone mad, and they are coming for the children. I don't know how many thousands of examples we need. Thank you, Teresa. You know, it's official. Reports say the banking collapse of 2023 is now officially more devastating than was the banking collapse of 2008. And right now, a series of global financial dominoes continue to fall. It's not over yet. Don't wait for the email that says, sorry, your account has been frozen. We've all got to take action now to protect what we've worked so hard to build over the years. Time to call my friends at American Alternative Assets and request your free wealth protection guide. Give them a call today at 888-4-GOLD-20. That's 888-446-5360. This invaluable guide will outline the precise steps you need to take immediately to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals, all without tax consequences. So call American Alternative Assets at 888-4-GOLD-20 to claim your free gold and silver guide today. Again, call 888-446-5360. Individual results may vary. There is no guarantee that past performance will be indicative of future results. Seek your own legal, tax, investment, and financial advice before opening an account. Yeah, I mean, this is going on. Again, I just gave you from California to Maryland. And it's the same people doing the same thing across the country, and they just won't leave the children alone. From the mustachioed Disneyland princess to, it just goes on and on. It never stops. The, transgender events for all ages. I think I've detected a pattern here. Hey, Chris here with some exciting news. Now you can listen to me live on the WMAL app. Doesn't matter if you're in your car, in the office, on the go. The WMAL app delivers crystal clear around-the-clock news coverage anywhere with cell service or Wi-Fi. So don't miss a second of your favorite shows. Download the WMAL app today on the Apple App Store or at Google Play Store. All right, today is Mailbag Day. It's Wednesday. Hump Day, as Bill Clinton calls it. And also, it's D-Day +1. I'm going to play for you the audio of my father being interviewed aboard his aircraft carrier in the Mediterranean Theater of Operations during World War II on D-Day +1. That is coming up today as well. And I have a story for you out of the Wall Street Journal related to what we're talking about. Here's the headline. Instagram connects vast pedophile network. Is this run by the DNC, I wonder? Meta, Mark Zuckerberg. Got these systems for fostering communities. They guide users to child sex content. I've got that story coming up. The Wall Street Journal has investigated, and they have their story just hit the wires. There is a wonderful American who lives in our metropolitan area, the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. Her name is Asra Nomani, and Asra Nomani is a common sense, no nonsense kind of American who doesn't put up with all of this lunacy. And I've met her only briefly, I think, but I've met her, and she's just great. She was out at the Montgomery County School Board meeting last night where there was a protest, and she made a brief video that she posted online. And she's an author, Georgetown University professor. She was born in India, comes from a Muslim family, and just great. And since we were just talking to Teresa from West Virginia, she got her degree from West Virginia University, and she's just a smart, common sense, regular person, a great American, Azra Nomani. A video of herself last night. This is a little piece of it.
Hey, you guys. So I'm here in Montgomery County, Maryland, and you can hear the noise is loud, right? This is what's happening here. The woke army is dead. The woke army is not alive anymore because what has happened is they came after the kids.
The woke army is dead, she said. The woke army is not alive anymore because what happened is they came after the kids. They came after the kids. You know what I'm reminded of? That Comet Pizza episode on Connecticut Avenue when some poor guy got sucked into this internet thing and came up to Washington, D.C. with a gun and went into Comet Pizza, a pizza place I know. It's only about a mile and a half, perhaps, from this radio station. And I've been there and I've had pizza there. And he went because the internet said that the Democrats were running like child sex trafficking out of this pizza place. And it wasn't true. But the guy came up and there was police. I had friends who were police officers that were there that day, blocked off the street, Connecticut Avenue, a major avenue in Washington, D.C. And it was a big hubbub. And the left, meaning the news media, the Washington Post and CNN and stuff, they use that as, these wacky right-wingers are such extremists. That's their favorite word these days. When they send Antifa out to attack parents at school board meetings in California and build LGBTQIA curricula into the kindergarten teachings across the country. Now, the Wall Street Journal, the Wall Street Journal has a piece today. Instagram, the headline, Instagram connects vast pedophile network. No, we don't call them pedophiles anymore. We call them MAPs, minor attracted persons. And let's not be critical of someone just because they want to have sex with a 5-year-old. That's what the Democrat teacher was teaching the high school kids in Texas. The kids were having none of it. The story. The Meta, Instagram is a subsidiary of Meta, which is Mark Zuckerberg, right? Facebook. The Meta unit system for fostering communities, online communities, have guided users to child sex content. Company says it's improving internal controls. So they'll go undetected? And Jeff Horowitz and Catherine Blunt have the story for the Wall Street Journal. Instagram, the popular social media site owned by Meta, helps connect and promote a vast network of accounts openly devoted to the commission and purchase of underage sex content. Do you see a common thread emerging across the country and across our culture? According to investigations by the Wall Street Journal and researchers at Stanford University and the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. Pedophiles, who Democrats call minor attracted persons or MAPs. Pedophiles have long used the internet, but unlike the forums and file transfer services that cater to people who have interest in illicit content, Instagram doesn't merely host these activities, its algorithms promote them. Now, I'm reminded of the Democrat mayor in College Park, Maryland, who is a friend of Pete Buttigieg and invited to the White House repeatedly. And the Democrat mayor, remember all the news stories failed to mention that he was a Democrat, is an activist Democrat mayor of College Park, Maryland, where, as you might imagine, there's a college. And he had all the, dozens and dozens, scores of child porn charges. Last time I looked, he was still in prison, but I bet he's out. And he was invited to the Biden White House repeatedly to hang out with Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg. Its algorithms promote them. Instagram connects pedophiles and guides them to content sellers via recommendation systems that excel at linking those who share niche interests, the journal and academic researchers found. Now, why would this be a problem? And is Mark Zuckerberg going to be called out? Will CNN even report this story? Will the Washington Post follow up on it? I doubt it. And if they do, they'll downplay it. And again, do they, I believe this pizza place in Washington, D.C. to be completely innocent. But here we go again. And how many bangs on this same drum do we have to hear before we shake our heads like cartoon characters and wake up to what's going on in the United States of America, and the Democrats introducing it to schools and to Disney and to all these child-oriented and child-specific venues. And we had just last week, the opening of Pride Month. It's all month long. Thanks for winning every war we ever fought. And at military bases, at an Air Force base in Nevada, the transgender for all ages. And they have all these things for all ages, which means bring the kids. And then you see this. So, pedophiles have long used the internet, but now it turns out that Mark Zuckerberg is facilitating. He's always seemed a little weird to me. Hasn't he always seemed a little weird to you? So Instagram connects the pedophiles and guides them to the content they're looking for, algorithms, Though out of sight for most of the platform, the sexualized accounts on Instagram are brazen about their interests. The researchers, again, Stanford and UMass Amherst, which Lord Amherst, by the way, is the only person that we can identify in the history of North America that actually gave smallpox-infected blankets to Native Americans. There's one instance, one actual documented instance of some European giving smallpox-infected blankets to Native Americans, to Indians, and it was Lord Amherst, who was British, by the way. And speaking of pedophiles, but that's another story for another day. So researchers found that Instagram enabled people to search explicit hashtags such as #pedo whore, PEDO, whore, and #preteen sex and preteen, and connected them with even Roman Polanski's target was 13. First year you can be a teen, but they gave him a standing ovation led by Harvey Weinstein at the Oscars a few years ago. Remember that? He's still a fugitive pedophile, but never mind that. Connected them to accounts that use the terms to advertise child sex material for sale. Such accounts often claim to be run by the children themselves and use overtly sexual handles, incorporating words such as little slut for you and such things. Instagram accounts offering to sell illicit sex material generally don't publish it openly, instead posting menus of contents. Certain accounts invite buyers to commission specific acts. This is, here it is, and this is very, very mainstream. Mark Zuckerberg spent, as we know, hundreds of millions of dollars in the last election cycle getting Democrats elected across the country. And it's good to be a Democrat, isn't it? Because all these pieces would be put together if only they weren't Democrats. I'll put them together, though, because I can see what's going on here, and I can see the pattern that has emerged. And the story goes on. I would recommend it. You can find it on Al Gore's amazing internet, the Wall Street Journal. Today, Instagram connects vast pedophile network. The problem is, you even look up things like this, and then the FBI will invade your home, right? I was just reading a Wall Street Journal article about the Democrats. Here it is again. Man, boy. Alex Stamos, the head of the Stanford University Internet Observatory, said Meta chief security officer, and he was Meta's chief security officer until 2018. This is kind of amazing. They said that getting even obvious abuse under control would likely take a sustained effort. Sure, well, why don't we start? I remember when we used to do great things in this country. Big things. Land on the moon, man on the moon before the decade is out. Things like that. Now, And I got to tell you, and the internet brings out the creeps. And it turns out that they're all Democrats. Okay, not all of them, just the vast majority. What was the name of the creepy Democrat mayor of College Park, Maryland, that last time I looked was in prison for his, and it was all gay child porn, of course. It was all little boys and all child porn and possession and acquiring and sharing and distributing. And, he's... Yeah, Patrick Wohan, and a close friend of Pete Buttigieg, but none of it rubs off on any Democrat. It's just amazing, isn't it? Democrats. All right, let's grab another phone call, Michael. Let's go to John, calling from Arkansas. John, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris, an honor to talk to you. Very, thank God for you. help us keep a comedic view of the left. But my question is, or my comment rather, is I haven't heard the term that we're supposed to use for son or daughter. How does this is just the left. It cracks me up. They're coming up against reality when they try to change, biology and facts and so forth. So if a parent of a transgender, non-binary, is there going to be a new term? Is what I guess I'm asking. Are they going to create a new term? Is it offensive to say son or daughter? Is it going to be considered exclusionary? It's just absolutely ridiculous. But I haven't heard anyone mention that one yet. It's bound to come.
New names for boys and for girls and for son and for daughter. You're absolutely right. They are, according to the left think, they are exclusionary. And that's, we used one of our brilliant callers a little while ago, used the term TERF, the trans exclusionary radical feminist. And in fact, we had a woman, I don't know if you were listening yesterday, John, but we had we had a woman that we played audio yesterday. She is going to the, University of Cincinnati or Cincinnati University. She got a 0 on a test from her professor, her so-called professor, and her professor called her a TERF, a trans exclusionary radical feminist. It's radical because she used the term biological women, and she flunked her. It was a paper that she wrote, not a test, a paper, and she was given 0 out of possible 20 points for the course. And her professor called her names, gave her a 0 because she used and the professor is so mentally impaired. She said, because you used terms that are, and the terms it was one term, not multiple terms, was biological women.
She actually, through an exchange of emails, told me that using the term contributed to TERF ideology, so trans exclusionary radical feminism, which I believe is the only real feminism. And she said it was exclusionary and contributed to heteronormativity.
Heteronormativity. I love John. Are you familiar with heteronormativity? And that was Olivia.
The light on it.
Olivia Krolchek. Yeah, heteronormativity. And they're against it. Whatever the hell it is, they're against it. No matter what it's for, who commenced it, they're against it.
And they're creating this, so-called this crisis because they're confusing the kids. Kids used to not be confused about their gender, but now they're going so young. Thankfully, this college student is grounded enough to see it. But the younger kids, kindergarten, first, second, third grade, they're the ones that we have to worry about. And it's just greatly alarming, concerning. Here in Arkansas, we still have a little bit of normalcy. I sure hope you come here. Last thing I wanted to say is it's a shame that our hat caught fire.
It is. It's sad. I wonder if somebody flicked a cigarette butt into our hat and our hat caught fire. That's Canada, of course. America's hat. America's big tree hat. We got a big green tree hat, and it's on fire. And everybody's choking down here, even in Washington, D.C. Usually you just choke on the insanity. Now it's Canada. We should close the border, right, to keep the burning air up there, right, the smoke up there. And we should, but honestly, I think that now that New York is smoked out, I think we'll start sending, we have lots of airplanes that drop water. They should be up there helping our good friends in Canada, because I actually love Canada. Canada's wonderful. But I do make fun of them because, they're Canada. Come on. Do you know that you can purify the air in your home and get healthy, clean, fresh-smelling air, eliminate odors, kill mold, mildew, bacteria, and viruses? The Eden Pure Thunderstorm Air Purifier uses Oxy technology. Oxy technology naturally sends out O3 molecules into the air. O3 molecules seek out odors and pollutants and they destroy them. It's an amazing thing. It doesn't mask or cover up bad odors and pollutants like a spray can. It's called the Thunderstorm because it purifies the air in your home, in your office, provides you with pure, fresh air, just like after a thunderstorm. And right now, you can save $200 American dollars, not Canadian dollars, American dollars, on an Eden Pure Thunderstorm. It's a 3-pack that you get for whole home protection. You're going to get 3 units for under $200. That's a fraction of the cost compared with other air purifiers that can go for more than $600 each. So put one in your basement, your bedroom, your family room, your teenager's room, any place that you like to breathe clean, fresh air. With this special offer, you're getting 3 units for under $200. All you have to do is go to EdenPureDeals.com. That's on Al Gore's amazing internet. Put in the discount code Chris. That's my first name. And you're going to save $200 because you hang with me. That's EdenPureDeals.com. The discount code is Chris, and shipping is free. Yeah, I have friends, military friends that have moved to Arkansas, and they ask me not to say anything really great about it because they don't want people from here moving there. You know, they want to keep it just like it is. But based on everything, and I've been to Arkansas, chasing Bill Clinton's sexual deviancy years ago. But it is a wonderful, beautiful, that is a beautiful state.
Whatever it is, I'm against it.
All right, next hour, we have mailbag in the next hour, and we have the recording of my father being interviewed aboard his aircraft carrier, D-Day +1, coming up in the next hour as well. And also, we will repost that. We made a bit of a production. It still needs a tweak or two, but we're going to post it anyway. And before we get to that, let's go back to the telephones. The nice people. Let's go to Jason calling from Kensington, Maryland. Jason, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, g'day, Chris. How you going, mate?
Very well, Jason. What do you know, huh?
Not much. I like the TV show. It's been pretty good so far. Seems like it's settled in pretty good now. But about these pedos, well, we call them pedos, but the only reason I think that, these people promoting or downplaying this is because they want to be willing participants in this sort of activity. I mean, I'm so glad I don't have kids because I think I'd probably be in jail for some sort of violent act against these people. I mean, this is what it's going to take. These people are sick. And there should be actually not even any consideration to these people being human.
Well, honestly, Jason, until just not so long ago, days ago, a few years ago, none of this would have been considered acceptable at all. But the cultural dominance of the left has, it's like a tsunami.